guys, it's Dan Waterman here, back with another reaction video. Today we're going to be reacting to Max0r in his latest video about Yakuza Pirate in Hawaii, I think is what it's called. I don't know, probably correct that for me in the comments, but anyway, I haven't played this game, but I am curious to see what Max0r thought of it. So we're going to get into it right quickly. We'll sweat the small stuff. Oh, words. All right, let's pull it up and let's get right into this video. All right, we got to cue it up here. Let's get that full screen. All right, we're going to start this off in 3, 2, 1, play.
Hello everybody, Max0r videos here. I promise this time. Let me ask you a personal question. What do you think a video game is? Usually, a video game is something that takes place in a setting and has internal logic which specifies where things are based on the things around them. That when you do actions, these things called events will happen that will be related to other events. This is known in game design as the principle of object permanence. When you fail to see this principle used, you will complain. You will call the game a nonsensical slop trough or other such true insults, for you are like a babe, crying out for succor in the night. But for those of us with refined tastes in our video entertainment, growing up is learning to ascend beyond the need for anything to make actual sense. Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza, in Hawaii, Ryuga Gotoku, Jesus Christ, even the title can't figure out what this is a game that feels like it was made in an alternate dimension, where geography, tone, time, culture, language, relative lethality, and graphical fidelity itself all exist independently of each other and also themselves. To the extent that even the most basic of inquiries, such as, why am I currently watching a jab of a chopped unk washing himself in the shower for 90 minutes? Is a question that I am incapable of answering at this time, and where the only thing preventing the mechanic.
Okay, this is definitely, never saw something like, well, they did do it for Like a Dragon, the man who erased his name, but nothing like that far. Nothing like that far. That kind of threw me for a loop a little bit right there. I had to take a little bit of a hydration break just to get myself mind cleared up and all that. Okay. All right, we're back into it. Let's keep it going.
From being added to this game is whether or not a random developer thinks it is kind of funny. So on the off chance that you are hoping to get any actual information about this game, I have some very bad news for you. Which of course I will be delivering as soon as I am done playing baseball, so I can unlock the Angry Birds soundtrack.
What?
That is not a fucking joke. This game technically takes place in Hawaii, in the same way that it is technically made by human beings. This is coincidentally the actual state that I was born and raised in, and despite the seemingly accurate modeling of the literal island that I lived on for 17 years, playing Pirate Yakuza has never made me feel further away from my homeland. It is very disturbing in a way that I cannot describe to walk through a Garry's Mod graphical rendering that is kind of like a building you have been in before, only to walk out onto the beachfront that you have kind of been to before, and watch as the hotel that you have kind of seen before is bombarded by a crew of period-accurate Caribbean pirates.
What?
From the 17th century, at which point I jumped onto my 17th century pirate ship, fired my pink lasers at them, and boarded with my crew comprised of 20 homeless dudes, random animals, and every furry I could find a discount for on the slave trade. Chicken Man is my strongest soldier, and I purchased him after doing 3 hours of gambling and hallucination karaoke. Yakuza is just a special fucking game. The problems with this game, or the solutions, depending on how Japanese you are, begin from the very start of the game, where we find ourselves in the shoes of Goro Majima, a canonically 60-year-old man primarily known for ambushing his senpai in random manhole covers and trash cans, recovering from his midlife crisis by proceeding to steal an entire pirate ship and becoming a better father figure to a child than his actual dad. At which point, Majima decided to introduce the child to the concept of a brothel and gambling because I said a better father figure. not a good one. In order to facilitate our reckless marauding of international Labubu sales, we have to first earn ourselves a lot of money and hire a lot of homeless guys. Much like real life, Pirate Yakuza revolves almost entirely around the need to make more money, mainly by upgrading our ship with a myriad of customizable options, most of which are fundamentally insane. So to actually make our money, we need to beat up a lot of people for their $12,000 pocket watches and do a lot of gambling.
Too bad.
Never mind, I hate this fucking game and I'm going to kill myself. This is all done within the game's 2 primary cities, beginning with the pirate haven of Madlantis, a seedy, chaotic, and leisurely location where every single woman character model is a prostitute, and the average time between street fights stretches into the 10-second mark. This is the part of the game where it becomes evident that there is literally no plan for what the gameplay should actually be. Bouncing seemingly at random between baseball with cannons, blackjack with hookers, claw machines with
What?
Samoa Joe, he's also the king of the Pirate Kingdom, as well as an entire naval coliseum featuring high-stakes, high-sea battles with crews of sumo wrestlers, escaped convicts, the BDSM squad, and just actual robots. But if I were to try and describe the main mechanical madness of Madlantis, I would tell you that this game is primarily supposed to be a beat-em-up, not that you would figure that out for yourself, frequently pitting the player against absolute industrial quantities of random goons inside the world's least insane Waffle House. And to do so, we have to properly utilize the combos and finishers spread between 2 distinct fighting styles. As a Mad Dog, we engage in a series of fast movements, knife attacks, and the ability to clone myself because, this game does not have enough units on screen, and as a and as a sea dog, we watch as the creators of this game just kind of give up on having themes, allowing us to access a powerful arsenal of swords, guns, grapple hooks, and the malevolent influence of 4 dark gods, notably including the dark god of killing everyone and ripping their skin off, as well as the dark god of summoning a tornado and instantly kidnapping the entire screen. But for those who are properly concerned about violence in movies and sex on TV, you will be pleased to know that our protagonist does not canonically kill anyone in this game, just giving them horrific injuries and lifelong disabilities that definitely make them wish he did. So no matter how gratuitously violent everything on screen seems to be, just know that Majima is definitely an upstanding, moral paragon whose only goal in life is to provide secure employment for the world's extant clown population, gain full opportunities on the SS Hello Kitty Island adventure.
Like, I thought in the meme in the Yakuza games that Kiryu Kazuma never killed a man. They never said anything about Goro Majima not killing somebody. He will not hesitate to kill you. Most of these people are definitely unsubscribed from life. There's not come back. Oh jeez, Goro Majima, man, you are a character.
Include such tasks as powering the rocket engines that we use to drift around enemies, manning the cannons, of which this game story apparently is, as well as participating in a bout of hilarious high-sea brawls, ranging from small scurvy scuffles all the way up to battling and boarding the entire population of an actual carnival cruise. Needless to say, we are going to need a lot of hands on this deck. Which of course brings our ship to the second major location of this game, where we will focus on recruiting our mighty crew in the island metropolis of Honolulu. Featuring such recognizable travel destinations as the Waikiki Beachfront, the Ala Moana Shopping Center, but they can't actually call it that, so it's named the Anaconda Shopping Center, even though there are no snakes in the state, and the streets where I used to run into moving vehicles for insurance fraud. Also, there's my favorite restaurant, the Gamer Sup Store, found in Description Street of the YouTube video neighborhood, where they sell wonderful energy drinks with code Max0r for 40 cents per serving. It is the only affordable drink in the entirety of this goddamn city. Now, while this virtual rendition is surprisingly accurate to the real Hawaii, I do have to point out that the amount of random street fights is slightly exaggerated from real life, as in reality, warfare would be considered kapu around this point due to the prominence of the fertility god Lono, whereas the amount of random homeless people that you will encounter on the street is not exaggerated nearly enough. But what really broke my immersion and destroyed my entire experience was the idea that I could walk into any restaurant and not actually buy any rice. Fun fact, one time they opened a Buffalo Wild Wings in Ala Moana and they received literally non-stop complaints about the menu until they finally gave in and started serving the public rice. Much, of course, like the real state of Hawaii, Majima's crew is extremely diverse and made of many backgrounds, because Hawaiians are very tolerant of all races and nationalities, so long as that nationality is not Micronesian. And if you get a Hawaiian to actually say anything about Micronesia, they will sound like the Mustache Man. So naturally, in order to secure a variety of people, and also maybe non-people, we have to do an extreme variety of completely disparate activities, taking up the vast majority of my entire playthrough. Sometimes recruiting people is easy, such as with the random homeless guy that I found on the street and recruited by giving him a single beer, or the swimsuit model who seemingly stands around waiting for a single person to score 100 in darts, while others are unnaturally complicated and absolutely not worth doing unless it is for the bit. Like the quest where you can recruit the famous Japanese streamer K-san, notable for having videos that I cannot show you, by walking around town and waving at people to make friends on the social media site Aloha links for the next hour of your stupid chud life. Not beating anyone up, not gambling my life savings away, just fucking waving at people on the street a minimum of 90 times. As you can probably tell by this point, there are many places in Waikiki to spend our time and money, and most of them are fun. Like attending the entire vocational school where Majima apparently attempts his fucking HVAC certification or something by entering into a series of difficult tests on such useful subjects as fashionista, alcohol expertise, Japanese underworld studies, and Sega proficiency, while other activities like Mahjong require the player to memorize a phone book and hallucinate themselves into actually winning, because I'm convinced that Mahjong is a made-up game designed to make white people commit suicide. But if Mahjong and vocational school aren't your style of unusual gameplay mechanics, there is no need to worry, for Pirate Yakuza has a unique career opportunity where you get to play as a National Geographic cameraman, recording and documenting in full HD the extremely rare crotches of random jacked perverts on the street. At which point, we unlock enough activity points to buy the perverts for my ship and place them into close proximity to the female cast. Needless to say, there are quite a few things to do in this game, and absolutely none of them come even close to the sheer joy and rapture that I felt when I first played Crazy Delivery, did 10 backflips, destroyed every car in a 2-mile radius, and delivered to someone a $2,000 pizza. It's not delivery, it's vehicular manslaughter. However, the most impactful thing that we can do as a captain is not merely hiring a crew of employees, but instead bonding with them and forming friendships that I will soon come to regret. Because the real treasure on this pirate adventure is the friendships that we have made along the way. To this end, Pirate Yakuza has a great variety of interesting side quests to directly engage with members of our crew, usually in the most mentally deranged way possible, such as in the quest where I taught a bronze statue performer to tolerate getting beat up by children and encouraging others to do the same, or the side quest where Majima assists the traveling circus on their mission to abuse exotic animals. Most of the time, these are pretty short, you see a man, he is collecting trash, you collect trash, and as a result, you get trash. And other times, they are incredibly long, varied, and extremely impactful to the morale of my ship in a way that mere description is not able to properly convey. But in the interests of making this video kind of funny, I will do my best to recall the bizarre story of Masaru the Chop Dunk, who has recently come into a bout of depression because he is obsessed with Japanese high society women. So of course the natural response to such a conundrum is to track down and engage in 6 separate stalking quests where Majima attempts to recruit all of the women who, contrary to popular belief, are different, to a bizarrely filmed live-action Japanese rendition of The Bachelor, where every single woman is after the heart of the most chopped unk you have ever seen in your entire life. Along the way, Majima will learn that women are not merely pretty objects to yearn from the internet, like you may assume, but entire human beings with interests and actual sentient emotion. He will go go-karting with them. He will go cosplaying with them. He will do a live stream with them, creating a mass casualty event for the world's largest population of online simps. He will buy copies of their adult magazines and then give those magazines to his shipmates. And he will have an intimate conversation with them about self-acceptance regarding eroticism.
I love sexy stuff!
And convincing them to demystify sex work. Also, one of them just fucking kills people using an actual sniper rifle. After which point, we are treated to a genuine, and this is not a bit, 30 minutes of watching our chopped unk fumble every single bag in increasingly insane and unhinged ways. And if something like this ever happened to me, you would not see any more videos after this one.
I would totally agree. I would.
The point I am trying to get across here is that Pirate Yakuza needs to be seen in order to be believed. If I didn't have visual proof of the things in this video, you would not believe that any of this was real, let alone being inside of the exact same game. But after you found your crew of maniacs, after you've seen them fight on the battlefield, after you built and customized the perfect ship, and seen all of these elements finally click together, there is no other game that will have this much chaos make so much sense in retrospect. Is it weird? Yes. Is it good? Definitely yes. You need to experience a Yakuza game at least once in your lifetime, and that is non-negotiable.
Most definitely.
Okay, maybe it is a little negotiable. Thank you to all the people supporting me on my Patreon. I am going to try to make the next video kind of short, and I hope that all of you have a very nice day pirating this video game.
This is the moment, showtime. Our hearts beat to the sounds of our cannons. Sea dogs to me, thunder like there's no tomorrow. Set sail, prevail. Let all who oppose us drown in their sorrows. You wanna fight, you know our names. We are the Goro Pirates.
Well, that certainly was something. Only paused once because throughout the most of the video, my brain could not process what was shown to me. And I'm like, okay, that's basically what Yakuza is down to a T. And well, that's really nothing else to be said. Max0r pretty much said everything else on the table. My comments, definitely buy this game. I've been playing Yakuza games for years. Haven't touched the current remastered of Yakuza 3, but the other ones I definitely played a bunch. So I highly recommend playing the Pirate Yakuza game. Dude, just check it out. It'll be good. It'll be a good time for you. Trust me. We're gonna call it here, and that'll be another reaction for today. Probably got some more videos down the line. Oh yeah, don't forget, new episode of Chill Corner is gonna be popping up this Friday at noon. So be sure to stay tuned to that. We got a lot of ground to cover that video, so please stay tuned and tune in and all that good stuff. This is Dan Waterman signing out, saying stay hydrated, be good to one another, and have a good day. Adios.